Peace and blessings, everyone. It is your soon-to-be favorite truth seeker and teller. But at least I hope, maybe one day. I come to you today in peace and love, and just want to, give you some insights into my life continually with my journey dealing with mental health and physical healing. um, it's a difficult process. You have good days, you have bad days. And I remember before I became disabled, I always couldn't wait for the weekends because the weekend was the time to, go out with my friends and have a good time, let loose, and just be myself. I've always been a very free spirited person and was always like the life of the party wherever I went. Funny, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just a funny person. I know how to tell jokes. I know how to make people laugh. Um, I would have a great time with people, my girlfriends, whenever we went out, I was always singing and just singing like didn't have a care in the world, just laughing and partying and going to full serenade mode, just having a great time, which is what I really enjoy doing in life. Now in my later years, since my daughter was born, and at that point, my life really fell apart. I haven't had any of that. I'm completely isolated. And weekends are particularly bad because even though I may be disabled, I still work part time. But on the weekends, I don't work. And a lot of times, what happens is I end up being isolated on the weekends. So sometimes, if I don't go to work on Friday and I don't go to work on Monday, I may spend, you know, um, Friday or Thursday all the way till Tuesday with no human interaction at all. I might call my dad on the phone and we talk every day. But that only lasts a few minutes, and it's just there's no real connection with another human soul. I'll often joke with myself and say, there's 8.5 billion people on this planet, and I'm completely alone. This weekend has been kind of tough because my daughter's little brother, like I said, I consider him to be my son. He asked if he could go and stay with his friends at his friend's house tonight, and I said, "Yeah, go ahead, enjoy yourself." His birthday's on Monday; he'll be 14. I said, "Go ahead, and enjoy yourself." And plus, I don't want him just to sit in his house underneath me all the time anyway. So I want him to enjoy himself. But with that being said, that leaves me completely isolated. He left about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm just sitting here alone. I talked to my dad for about 10 minutes on the phone. And other than that, there's really been no human contact. And this is, like I said in previous videos, as he gets older and he's coming over less and less, I'm just isolated. You know, um, it's hard. It's very, very hard. Some people are introverts and they enjoy that type of situation. I'm not an introvert. I'm a straight, solid extrovert. But in the same token, I am now an introverted extrovert as I spend the vast majority of my time that doesn't have to do with work alone. And I work with children. So, like, really having any adult or being around any adults, if I go to the food store or when I go to the barbershop, that's basically it. I don't have that adult human interaction. And if you know anything about the studies, they said that loneliness is just as detrimental to your health as a 15 cigarette a day smoking habit. So it's very detrimental. I kind of lost trust in people. I tried to make those close associations, tried to make close friendships and companionships and things of that nature. And it seems as if no one's found any value in me. Now I'm working on, building self-love for myself and being more in love with myself. But, having human connection is just something that I value a lot. I enjoy those deep, in-depth conversations where we're just talking about anything that has to do with life itself. I love talking about, stars and the universe and the human body and biology and physics and metaphysics and conspiracy theories and anything you could think of. If it piques my interest, I'm willing to take a deep dive into it. And I just don't have those outlets to do those things. I spent a lot of years educating myself, reading books, and I said to myself one day, like, why am I reading these books if I don't have anything I can do with it? Now, with this platform, I'm hoping that, I can flourish this into something bigger and better to where I can start exploring these things. And maybe I'll have some other people on here with me and we could talk about it together because this is what I really, really enjoy. Um, Human beings are not solitary creatures. You have some creatures that are solitary creatures like tigers. If you notice, they're solitary creatures. They're never in packs. Bears, they're never in packs. But if you look at like lions and you look at seals and you look at penguins and that nature, they're pack animals. Human beings are the same way. That's why there's so many cities and people gravitate towards where everyone is at. And I'm just looking for, real connection because what I'm getting right now is just not cutting it. My brothers and sisters in the 5% Nation, I really don't hear from them anymore. My so-called brothers that was in my fraternal organization, I don't never hear from them anymore, and it's kind of crazy. You know, at one point in time, that was my whole entire life. I made every sacrifice to be with my fraternity. We were always doing stuff, partying or doing degree work or having fun or whatever it may be. And to just see that, how I value their connection, it wasn't even close to how much they valued mine. Because when I wasn't around anymore, no one cared to say, hey, is this brother okay? Or is he even still alive? Or what's going on? I lost a child. I got like, they donated collectively like $180 to me, and that was it. One of them came to my daughter's funeral, but other than that, I never heard for any of them ever again. And every now and then I'll reach out to them and they'll say, hey, let's stay connected more. You got my phone number, but not realizing that I'm the only one that's been keeping those relationships alive. And that's the way it's always been with all the relationships I have. I'm constantly picking up the phone and calling other people, with the exception of one person. I can say there's one person from my friendship list, and I've known him for a very long time. He actually lives near me. That will actually pick up the phone and call me. But it's like you have these friendships, and you're like, well, where's the reciprocation, the reciprocity? I was talking to a childhood friend of mine who we are actually good friends, but he just don't answer the phone for nobody. But I was talking to him when I went home to New Jersey, and I was explaining to my situation how I'm isolated, and I needed connection with somebody. Somebody just pick up the phone or take some time to come spend some time with me. Once a month or once every 6 months, something. And I was telling him how I basically the only one that reaches out. No one ever reaches out back to me. And he was like, "Well, that's your function. You were someone that connects with people, that or whatever, whatever." But I'm saying to myself, like, if someone valued my who I am as a person, they would make it known. It would be seen. Valuing someone and loving someone, those are action words. Those aren't just words you say as an emotion. Those are something that takes action. And I know I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting the love and support that I thought I was going to get, that I've always given out to others, and it weighs heavy on me daily. I try to fight through it. I try to fight through it. Some days are good. Music helps me. But at the end of the day, the finality of it all is just very heavy on me. But anyway, that's today's video. Peace and blessings to you all. I really, really appreciate being able to share my story with you. I'm working on my book. It should be soon. We should be out soon. And I hope all you guys will get a chance to purchase and see some of the things I've experienced in life. If you found value in this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Until we meet again, peace and love. Wise.